There are not many cities in the world that are as stunning as Cape Town, South Africa. Resting beneath the shadows of two majestic mountain ranges, the Mother City, as it's also called, is a bustling metropolis, infused with colorful neighborhoods that are full of local culture and surrounded by breathtaking seaside suburbs on the rim of the city. But for all the natural beauty that Cape Town has, it can't escape the realities of global warming. It's now in the midst of a crippling drought that is forcing all who live there to adapt to a new reality. But despite the dire nature of this situation, the spirit of the South African people is unquenchable. And I find that out firsthand when I meet up with South African travel curator Omphile Setiloane and Ugandan travel expert Jessica Nabongo to explore some of the city's off-the-beaten-path adventures.
I'm taking you guys to the Cape Peninsula to see some amazing scenes. You ready? Cool.
To truly get a feel for the variety of landscape Cape Town has to offer, you have to get outside of the city to the coast, to some of the smaller towns, many of which have relied on the sea for their way of life. All right, we're here in Muizenberg and we've come to Kalki's. It's a local spot that has the best fish and chips, and they said that we have to have the fish and chips when we come to Cape Town.
And not have it, and I'm excited. I'm starving.
I'm excited and starving. Kalki's is a local staple with a harbor-inspired feel, and it's been serving up crispy fish and chips to locals and tourists alike for the last 20 years, making this traditionally British meal part of their own culture. Thank you very much. All right, there it is. We got our fish and chips, Cape Town's finest. Oh. As I sit there stunned by the size of this thing, Omphile shows me how the Cape Townians do it.
I just put some salt on it, on the chips, and then I just put on some vinegar, just to kind of make them slap chips. That's what we call them, slap chips.
This South African fish, yeah, this is really good.
Good food and good conversation prepares me for the next part of my journey. The world is in mourning upon hearing the devastating news that Sudan, the last male white rhino, has passed away from old age. With this loss, it leaves just 2 females alive to carry on the species. So I traveled 1,000 miles north, near the border of Botswana, to the Marakele National Park to see if I can catch a glimpse of some of Sudan's distant cousins, the black rhino. When we touch down at the safari lodge, I'm immediately immersed in the wilds of South Africa. Animals I've only seen on TV or in the zoo are only meters away. And that can be more nerve-wracking than it sounds. After a brief stop at the lodge to grab some equipment, we head back out to the plains. Our guide, Ranger Ryan Bates, is an expert on local wildlife and how to find it.
Total 75,000 hectares of space, of roaming space for all of these animals to move around freely.
It became clear that we are only visitors on their land as a family of elephants crosses our bow. Ryan scans the horizon and spots a rhino, and then another. And then we realize that we have a flat tire, meaning we have to leave the safety of our Jeep. As you can see, we've had a little tire issue. Some of the branches out here have thorns that are literally 3.5 inches deep, and they puncture these really thick rubber tires, so we have to change it as we go. And this is the kind of things that happen when you're out here in the bush on safari. And we actually have to be really quick because there's a herd of about 4 to 5 elephants right on the other side of this Jeep, and you know, they're traveling with a family, there's a baby, and so they're going to be highly sensitive to outside presences like ours. And so, as quick as we can, we're going to get this truck fixed and get back on the road. How often does this happen?
Probably once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Not normally when we've got herds of elephants.
And we've had a couple lions that were in the area that took down a baby giraffe yesterday, so this is not a particularly safe situation, but this is one that has to be taken care of. Despite the dangers that come along with living and working with some of the world's biggest animals, rangers like Ryan have devoted their lives to ensuring future generations will be able to see the same things that we can.
conservation is what South Africa is all about, especially if you take a look at our #1 endangered species, rhino. Rhino need as much support as they can get, because if we don't protect them, unfortunately, we won't have them anymore.
That's incredible.
Pretty touch and go for a second there with the flat tire.
It gets a little suspenseful, but luckily we're with a professional.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Wow.
Beautiful.
All right, where are we off to tomorrow? What's the deal?
Well, from South Africa, we're going to take you all the way over to South America, and we're going to go to Brazil.
Very exciting.
Fun.
Good
Looks
food,
good.
good fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't beat
wait.
that. Thank